Good afternoon, Year 6. I'm here in Ypres, or Wipers as it was known to some British soldiers. Ypres was the scene of huge and untold destruction during the First World War. In fact, the magnificent cloth house building you see behind me, which is now staged as the In Flanders Fields Museum, was destroyed completely and utterly during the war, and many of the buildings here destroyed with it. Since 1918 and the liberation of this town, huge work has been undertaken to reconstruct the town to bring it back to its glory, but also as a way of commemorating and remembering what happened here. But how does that link to our community and to how we remember those from Norrisville? Let's take a look at one of the memorials here, Menim Gate. During the First World War, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of troops from Britain and across the British Empire would march through the street to face battles across the Flanders Solent, including battles such as Passchendaele, where hundreds of thousands of British soldiers, Commonwealth soldiers, lost their lives. And it is estimated that over 300,000 of the soldiers who would have passed through these gates met their end here. Of those, 90,000 have no final resting place, and so in 1927 the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, what was known as the Imperial War Graves Commission, set out a memorial here, a lasting memorial, to inscribe the name of those who had died, had no other place to be memorialised. Menim Gate was to stand a reminder to those who had no final resting place, and you can see the inscription marked above me. To the armies of the British Empire who stood here from 1914 to 1918, and to those of their dead who have no known grave. This meant that their families and the people who followed them had a place to grieve, to remember their sacrifice and to commemorate their service. Despite the sheer scale of Reginald Bloomfield's monument here in Menim Gate, only just over 54,000 names of those who died and have no known grave are able to be marked at Menim Gate. Their names listed by their regiment and by their surname, which meant 34,000 names, over 34,000 names, had to be commemorated elsewhere, with Tynecott Cemetery being built to mark their sacrifice as well. Since the unveiling of the memorial back in 1927, every night buglers from the Last Post Committee have performed the last post here, and a service has been said in memory of those soldiers who gave their lives for the city of Ypres, the people of Belgium, and for the freedoms which we face following the First World War. And that celebration continues today. In fact, it has only been suspended during the Second World War and a short time during the coronavirus, with each night at 8 PM the last post being played and a moment of silence and reflection taking place.
I'm one of the buglers of the Last Post Association, and we play daily the Last Post to remember the soldiers, the fallen soldiers who are mentioned here on the Menim Gate, and also all the soldiers who lost their lives in the First World War.
And can you help explain why this is important?
Sorry?
Could you explain why this is important?
Why?
This is important.
Of course this is important because of after the First World War the whole city was demolished, and it has been reconstructed, but not to forget the soldiers who lost their life for the defense of the city. This Menim Gate here has been constructed, and to remember all those soldiers, the Last Post is played every day. So if you have to play just once for every soldier who's mentioned here on the Menim Gate, it won't be for our time, because of those days it's about 33,000 times, 600 times. But we have nearly 55,000 soldiers who are mentioned here, who have an unknown grave, and who give their life for the restoration of peace and for our freedom.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem. You're welcome.
Yes, we're part of the Royal British Legion. We're here today to lay a relief to show respect to the fallen 1940-1980 war, and of course not forgetting those who lost their lives in the Second World War as well.
Here, among the countless names on this memorial, on panel 55, we have the names of the men of the Yorkshire and Lancashire Regiment, particularly the 8th Battalion of the Yorkshire and Lancashire Regiment. Among these was a man killed on the 9th of April 1917, a man who lived not too far away from here at number 22 School Street. Recorded on the memorial of Menim Gate for a man who has no other known memorial is that of Harry Mellor, private of the 8th Battalion of the Yorkshire and Lancashire Regiment.